Hey everyone, this is Leland Bartlett with Report Training Consulting again, coming at you with another video. Today we're going to be looking at Excel. I'm going to be looking at some functions in VBA and the Lamba function that is new. And hopefully after you've seen them, you wonder how you were living without them. Let's take a look. Okay, we're going to take a look at how to create our own personal functions. Now, if you're saying, well, what is a function? It's the same as an Excel formula. So when you type in equals sum, this is a function. And you can type in and get your region, hit enter, and it gives you a value back. A function is designed to analyze data and give you a single value back. And we can do the same function by writing our own. To do that, though, you need to go into VBA and be somewhat comfortable in that arena. You don't have to be a pro or anything like that. Make sure that your developer tab is visible. If you don't have that visible, click on File, go down to Options, click on Customize Ribbon, and over in the main tabs you should see the developer tab. Give that a click and it will appear for you. A lot of people like to use Alt F11 to get into Visual Basic. Just one way. Developer, go to Visual Basic. Then the next thing you want to do is make sure you're on the project that you're going to be working in, the workbook. So I'm on the function sample workbook and got some others up here. And if you don't have a module, usually there's a module 1, but if you don't have one down there, you haven't recorded any macros previously, you can right click on it and choose insert and then choose module. So I'm going to be down here on workbook examples. We're going to just create a function that's a multiplier. So it's called function. Then the name of the variable that you want to hold that value in, and we're going to say full price. And then we have to tell it, hey, where am I going to get my calculations from? So we have to define some variables. There's quantity, and then there's price. And like any data type in Excel, you have to tell it what type of data it is going to be. So I'm going to say as double. It puts the in function there, and then you can simply write in what it is you want it to do. And I'm going to say full price is equal to quantity times price. That's all there is to it. And what it's going to do is we're going to fill that in with a column or the cell of quantity. Price is going to be filled in with our other one. Then it's automatically going to multiply those together and place that value in the cell that we put the formula. So let's swing back over to our worksheet, and we can type in equals full price. There it is. We put in our value. I'm going to put a comma there and put in another one, and there's our value right there. And you can treat it just like you do regular formulas. Just double click and it automatically fills in the value below. So that's a real simple one. What's cool though is that you can make it as complex as you want. You can put as much logic as you want in there. For example, here's another one where I'm going to say I want the discount based on a category and a quantity. So let's take a look at how that one would work. So here's the discount function that I created. It's just called discount. I have category and quantity here, and I dimmed temp discount as a temporary holder of the data until I get to the bottom of this, and then I just give it back to the discount, which again is the name of the function. So I have if the category is 1 and less than 500, if it's 1 and greater than 500, 2, and so on and so forth. You can see you can make it as simple and complex as you want. Then you can simply flag flip back over, and you can type in equals discount, and I give it the two variables, E2, comma, F2, and then it automatically fills in the data. So I had a category 3, less than 500, my discount 0. Then I can just go ahead and highlight it like I usually do, and it automatically fills in the values for us. Now I know I'm showing you simple examples, and my real goal is not to show you how to do this, but really is to invite you to visit or look into these things if you haven't done it before and see how wonderful they are. Now here's a case where we get a little bit more complex with regards to what our function can do. Is that I have here a list of employees and their salaries, let's say, and I want to know if I'm taking out the right amount of federal taxes. So I've built a tax schedule into my system, and let's take a look at that. And here it is right here. and it says function fed taxes, and then I have the tax schedule down here. Now I know sometimes you can get it from a different place, but this is built in. You can go and you can change it at will too. You can create this as a easy way to update each year. But I'm going to type in equals fed taxes, and you can see it right here, and I just have one variable. So I'm going to go F8, hit enter, and there's my taxes for that particular salary. And you can see that this $218,000 net income, I already have it built in the formula for that, and click it down, and then it automatically fills in for us. So you can see that it's as complex or as simple as you need it to be. Now the nice thing about these is that in the VBA form is that you can actually export that out and share it with other people. You can also make them an add-in, which again allows people just to add them in and then automatically available to them like a regular Excel function, so on and so forth. Now in recent months, I'm going to take that back. I got ahead of myself. So here's another thing you can do with regards to a function, is that I built this spreadsheet here and I calculate salary based on taxes. And so what a function is designed to do, as you can see, is it's designed to do one thing and return one value. And so I didn't want to have to write that into my subroutine. I just wanted to call it and do it. So what you can do with a function also is that you can actually call it from another routine. So as you look down here in my subroutine, I'm calling the routine taxes, and I'm sending it the value income that I've created here, and I'm sending it down here, and it's coming in income, and what's coming back is the taxes based on that income. And so it comes back and it gives me my taxes, and then minus my income, gives me my net income for that particular period. So that's another nice thing about building it in VBA, is that you can actually call that function from any other place within the workbook. Now in the recent months, or the most current version of Office 365, they've introduced this function called Lamba. And what it's designed to do is be able for you to create a customized formula like we've been doing, but without having to go into the VBA arena. So you can type a fairly complex, haven't visited with it a lot yet, but I did just take a look at it. So you can do something like what we did here, just a multiplication. We can say equals, and I'm going to say Lamba. Then it says, hey, what variables do you want to pass in there? And I'm going to say, okay, well, let's say it's column C, column D, and then what do I want them to do? Well, I want column C multiplied by column D. Then, and that's it. Now, for sample purposes, this gets confusing, but because the next step isn't the same. But I'm going to say I want C2, comma D2. And what it does is it gives me the result there. Now you're saying, oh, that's the same thing. Why do that? Well, here's the difference. Is that you can actually, the next step is to name this. And when you do this naming and it sees the Lamba function, it becomes a part of your regular functions, just like we did in VBA a second ago. So what you would do is that you would copy this formula, but not the two cell references at the end there, because that's just so that it works within the cell. And you're going to copy that, okay? Then you're going to go up to your formulas and choose Manage Names. We're going to click New, and you can say, okay, this is my total profit. And then down in the refers to, you're going to paste that formula. So you got CD times D, nothing else, not the cell references. And you're going to click OK. So there it is, total profit. It's in your name reference. Then what we should be able to go back is go equals and say total. And there's our profit. And then we're going to choose our two variables like we did before, C3, or D4, D3. You think I would get that right. And then you click enter, and boom, there it is. And so now you've built in a customized formula within Excel without ever having to look at Visual Basic. How complex can you get? I don't know. I don't know if you can get as complex. You cannot call it from other, well, you can probably use it in VBA through the application variable. But anyway, I don't know that much about it, but I did want you to know that it's there, that you don't have to use VBA to do, I would say, somewhat simple. And they show some complex samples in some of the help. But again, it's not, you can't export it, you can't save it, you can't do those things with it, but it is a great function. If you have any other questions about this, I just want to introduce you to functions, because once I found that out, I was wondering why I hadn't been using them forever, because I constantly are creating complex if statements and trying to create, these customized formulas within formulas to try and get the data I want, when I could have just gone to VBA, created a function, created the logic, and then just accessed it from the worksheet itself. I hope that was value to you. Hey everyone, appreciate being here. That's it for me today. I hope that you found the information useful and productive in your work life. Here in the near future, I hope to be putting together another video in Excel, and we'll be talking about handling events in it and what to do. Until then, I'll see you.